Hey everyone! Welcome back to the ALISA English podcast. I'm your host Alex, and today we're diving into a topic that almost every English learner struggles with at some point: the fear of speaking. Have you ever felt nervous when someone asks you a question in English? Or maybe you know what you want to say, but when it's time to speak, your mind goes blank. You're not alone. This fear is very real, and it holds back so many people from making real progress. But here's the good news: you can overcome it. It's not about being perfect, it's about being prepared, being kind to yourself, and learning how to build confidence step by step. So grab your coffee, sit back, and let's explore some real strategies to break free from the fear of speaking English. Understand the root of your fear. Let's start at the beginning. Where does this fear come from? For many people, it's the fear of making mistakes, of sounding silly, or of being judged. Maybe you had a bad experience before. Or maybe you compare yourself to native speakers and feel like you'll never sound fluent enough. But here's the truth: everyone makes mistakes. Even native speakers do. The problem isn't the mistake. It's the fear around the mistake. So step 1 is to recognize that your fear is normal, but it doesn't have to control you. Now that we understand where the fear comes from, let's talk about how to shift your mindset. Shift your mindset. Progress, not perfection. One of the biggest things that helped me when learning a second language was changing the way I thought about speaking. Instead of thinking, I have to speak perfectly, I started thinking, I want to communicate clearly. That's enough. Your goal isn't to be perfect, it's to be understood, and to improve a little every time you speak. Every conversation is practice. Every mistake is a lesson, so stop chasing perfection. Chase progress. All right, your mindset is on the right track. Now let's get practical. How do we deal with anxiety when it hits? Manage speaking anxiety in the moment. Have you ever felt your heart race before speaking in English? Your palms sweat? That's anxiety kicking in. Here are a few quick tips to manage it in the moment. Breathe. Take a deep breath before you speak. It helps your brain think clearly. Slow down. You don't have to speak fast. Take your time. Use filler phrases. It's okay to pause and say, "Let me think for a second," or "That's a great question." These give you time to organize your thoughts. And most importantly, remember, nobody is judging you as harshly as you judge yourself. People are usually just glad you're making the effort to speak. So now that we know how to handle anxiety, let's look at how to prepare ourselves for success before the conversation even starts. Let's talk about something powerful: preparation. Because here's the truth: speaking gets easier when you're prepared. So how can you set yourself up for success, not just once, but again and again? Let's break it down. First, practice common situations. Think about the moments where English shows up in your life. Maybe it's when you're ordering food at a cafe, introducing yourself in a meeting, or replying to emails at work. Now imagine this: instead of feeling nervous in those situations, you feel calm and ready. Why? Because you've already practiced them. You've done the work before the moment comes. That's the power of being prepared. Second, use scripts or role plays. You don't need to be an actor. Just write short, simple dialogues based on real-life situations and practice them out loud. For example, A. Hi, I'd like to order a cappuccino, please. B. Sure. Would you like it hot or iced? It may sound basic, but rehearsing real lines like this helps you build fluency and automaticity, so the words come faster when you need them. Third, record yourself. Yes, it feels strange at first. We're not used to hearing our own voices, but trust me, it's one of the most effective ways to improve. When you listen back, you'll catch small things: pronunciation mistakes, grammar slips, or awkward pauses. And even better, you'll also notice improvement. That feeling of, hey, I sound better than last week? That builds confidence like nothing else. The key idea here is, the more you prepare, the more confident you'll feel. Preparation removes fear. It builds self-assurance and makes speaking feel less like a test and more like a natural part of your life. One idiom that fits perfectly here is, practice makes perfect. It may be an old saying, but it's still true. The more you repeat, rehearse, and reflect, the stronger your skills become. Another one? Don't wing it. That means, don't try to speak without preparation. You wouldn't walk into a big meeting or a performance without getting ready first, so why should English be any different? So if you want real results, start small. Prepare for the moments that matter. Practice the words you'll actually use, and get comfortable with your voice. Because when you're prepared, speaking becomes less scary and way more exciting. Okay, preparation is key. But what if we still feel stuck, even when we prepare? Don't worry. In the next part, we'll explore how to build confidence through small, simple steps. Stay with me. Let's get real for a moment. Building confidence doesn't happen in a day. It's not some magical switch you flip. Confidence doesn't come overnight. It's built one small win at a time. And that's actually good news. Because it means you don't need to wait until you're fluent or perfect to start feeling more confident. You just need to take small, consistent actions. The kind that feel manageable, not overwhelming. Let's look at a few ways you can start. Leave a short voice message to a friend in English. It doesn't have to be long, even a 10-second message like, "Hey, just wanted to say I'm practicing my English. Hope you're having a great day." That small action helps you break the silence barrier. It tells your brain, I can do this. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Read a paragraph out loud each morning. Maybe it's from an article, a book, or even your favorite blog. Choose something short and enjoyable. This builds not only pronunciation, but also your rhythm, tone, and oral fluency. Over time, you'll sound more natural, and you'll feel more natural too. Join a small online group where you can practice speaking without pressure. There are tons of language exchange groups, English cafes, or even Discord communities where learners support each other. It's not about being perfect. It's about being present and brave enough to try. These tiny steps lead to big results. They may feel simple, but each one is a building block. Every time you speak, even if it's just one sentence, you're getting stronger. You're training your brain to feel safe using English. That's called gradual exposure, and it's one of the most effective ways to reduce fear. Here's a helpful idiom. Rome wasn't built in a day. Neither is confidence. So be kind to yourself. Celebrate the small wins. Even saying hello in English is a step forward. Another one. Step by step, you move the mountain. That's how real progress happens, not in big leaps, but in steady, intentional moves forward. So, remember this. You don't need to be fearless to speak. You just need to be willing to take one small step, today. Once you've built some momentum, the next step is to practice in real situations. That's where your confidence truly takes flight. Let's dive into that next. Practice in real life. Want to beat the fear of speaking? The best way is to speak more, in real, natural settings. Here are a few ideas. Join language exchange apps like Tandem or HelloTalk. Attend English-speaking meetups or events in your area. Volunteer to give a short presentation at work or in class. Yes, it's scary at first, but real-life practice is where the magic happens. You realize people aren't focused on your mistakes. They're just listening to your message. And finally, let's finish with the most important advice of all. Be kind to yourself. Let's be honest. Learning a language is hard. It challenges your brain, your patience, and sometimes your confidence. And when it comes to speaking, especially out loud and in front of others, that's not just a skill, that's courage. So if you've ever felt nervous, embarrassed, or even frustrated, you're not alone. Everyone goes through it. That's why my message to you today is simple. Be kind to yourself. And keep going. Be patient and kind to yourself. Progress in language learning is not linear. Some days you'll feel like a genius. Other days, like you've forgotten everything. That's normal. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent, showing up again and again. Celebrate the small wins. Did you introduce yourself to someone in English? That's a win. Did you write a message, even if it had a few grammar mistakes? That's a win. These moments matter. They're milestones on your journey. Write them down. Talk about them. Reward yourself. Because when you feel good, you'll want to keep going. Laugh at the mistakes. Yes, you'll say the wrong word. Maybe even something funny or awkward. But that's part of it. One time, I meant to say, "I'm full," after dinner in Spanish, and accidentally said something very inappropriate. We all laughed, and I never forgot that word again. So go ahead, laugh, learn, and move forward. Speak even when your voice shakes. There's a beautiful quote that says, "Courage doesn't mean you're not afraid. It means you do it anyway." So speak, even if your hands sweat, even if your grammar isn't perfect. Every time you use your voice, you're training your brain to feel safe and building real confidence. Let me share 2 idioms that fit perfectly here. Every step counts. Even if it's small, it moves you forward. Don't be your own worst enemy. Don't let self-criticism stop your progress. Be your own coach, not your biggest critic. So remember, every time you speak, you're doing something brave. And every step you take, even the small, shaky ones, brings you closer to fluency. Be kind to yourself. Keep going. You've got this. Coming up next, let's wrap up everything we've learned today and review some of the most powerful takeaways and vocabulary. All right, we've covered a lot today. I hope you're walking away with some practical tools and, more importantly, the belief that yes, you can overcome the fear of speaking English. Before we wrap up, let's review some key vocabulary and idioms we used in this episode. The first word is anxiety, a feeling of worry or nervousness. I get anxiety when I have to speak English in public. The second word is perfection, the state of being perfect. Don't aim for perfection. Aim to communicate. The third word is progress, movement forward or improvement. You've made great progress since last month. The fourth word is confidence, belief in yourself and your abilities. Confidence grows with practice. The fourth word is judged, to be evaluated, often negatively. Many learners fear being judged for their accent. We review some idioms. The first word is break free from something, to escape or overcome something holding you back. It's time to break free from your fear of speaking. The second word is one step at a time, slowly, gradually. You'll build confidence one step at a time. Thanks so much for joining me on the ALISA English podcast. I'm Alex, and I hope today's episode helps you take your next step with more courage and clarity. Remember, you're not alone, and your voice matters. Keep